Right, hello everyone and welcome to this new video of the channel. So today we've got our final prediction videos before the season starts. So today we've got the big one, we've got the Premier League. So I'm here once again with Lizzie. Lizzie, how do you feel about your predictions and how hard did you find it predicting the Premier League?
I know more about the EFL than the Premier League, I'd say. So I found it more difficult than the other three.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those leagues where it's a lot more predictable than the EFL. That's kind of why I prefer the EFL, I think, because it is unpredictable. Whereas I feel like there won't be a single person who's made one of these videos that doesn't think number one is number one. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe we'll have to wait and find out at the end for ours. But yeah, I was going to say you kind of roughly know which teams are going to be in and around the same positions.
There's never anything that's like super unexpected.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a surprise, it's usually this team's finished in 7th rather than finished in, you know, a Champions League position or something like that.
Definitely. A bit like Chelsea last year. So the aim here is to get the least amount of points possible with your predictions. So, for example, if you get a team spot on, then you get 0 points, and then you get a point per every place out you are. So, say for example, you pick someone to finish in 16th and they finish in 14th, you'll get 2 points, and vice versa, and whatever position for whichever placing. So, anyway, if that's enough talking from us beforehand, let's get into our predictions. Okay, so starting off with our relegation zone, so I'm going to go first here. So, I'm going to say our bottom three first. So, in 20th place, I have gone for Sheffield United. I've changed my mind quite a few times with the bottom three, but I have decided to stick with Sheffield United in bottom place. I just think, like I say, the best two players have left, and I just don't think the recruitment's been good enough. I don't see where we're going to get any goals from. I mean, McBurney and Brewster up front, it's not good enough. It's not good enough front two. And then just the rest of the team, like I say, it's a bit of an aging team. There's not a lot of Premier League quality in that team, I don't think. I know we're just going to sign Ben Haim from Coventry, which is a really good signing, but apart from that, I don't really see, how they're going to survive, to be honest with you. In 19th place, I've gone for a team that have made quite a bit of a downhill run lately, and that is Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think, like I say, a lot of outgoing. Neves has gone to Saudi Arabia, Jimenez has gone to Fulham. The manager's literally left just before the season started. We're in a bit of a mess at the minute. Like I say, Gary O'Neill's come in, and he did well with Bournemouth, but, it's going to be a hard job when you're already against it at Wolves. And like I say, I think we're just losing players after players each season. We're not really recruiting that well, and I think it's going to catch up to them this season, and I don't see any other option but relegation for them. And then the final relegation place, I didn't want to pull them in there, but unfortunately I'm going to have to. I've gone for Luton Town. I think, like I say, it's a squad that recruited well for the Championship, in my opinion. But I think for the Premier League, it's just not quite there. I know we've had some quality players, such as, like I say, Ross Barkley, who's been there, done that in this league, but I just don't see the strength and quality being in there. They've done fantastic, like I say, to go from non-league all the way up to the Premier League in just under 10 years, but I think it's going to be a step too far for them. It's been a fantastic achievement. Like I say, they've got the stadium upgraded. It's going to set them up for a very long time to come, but I just don't see them surviving.
So in 20th, I've also gone for Sheffield United.
Perfect.
Well, high five on that one.
Get it.
I just think they're a long way away from where they were last time they got promoted into the Premier League. Things are a lot different ownership-wise, recruitment-wise. Basically, everything around the club is different now. I don't think Heckingbottom's a Premier League manager.
No, he's not.
And I don't think they've just the thought of Ollie McBurney playing up front in the Premier League just makes me sad. Can't stand him. I really hope they get relegated. I'm not a fan. For 19th went Bournemouth, for similar reasons to Sheffield United. It's just that sort of turmoil on and off the pitch, like sacking O'Neill at the end of the season just seems bizarre to me after basically working miracles to keep them up, and I think as a consequence of that they just deserve to go down. They've had a really good stint in the top flight, but I just think the Premier League's getting more and more competitive, and that bit of consistency, they haven't got it, and I think they will struggle. In 18th I went for Wolves, same reasons as you really. Seems a bit chaotic, they've lost a lot of players. It feels like they've been on a steady decline for a few seasons now, and I think this is going to be the culmination of that.
Yeah. Okay, next up, we're going to stay in the bottom half, going for the teams from 17th place up to 14th place. So in 17th for me, and just missing out on relegation once again, I've gone for Everton. I think they're just going to survive, only just. And, you know, they're getting extremely lucky surviving all these times. You know, it's a bit third season in a row, but I think they'll be stronger defensively under Sean Dyche. I think he'll just get them a bit more organised, but I don't see him scoring many goals. I mean, obviously Demarai Gray and Calvert-Lewin, but like I say, you can't just rely on Gray, and Calvert-Lewin is very injury prone, so it's how much they're going to actually play. And
wasn't Gray their top scorer with 7?
I was going to say, you don't have many places where you're going to get them goals from. I mean, I know Decore scored a goal to keep them up, but how often's you're going to do that? They're not going to get many goals. Sounds like there's a bit of chaos. I think they broke FFP rules, so we might even get a points deduction. So who knows? I think we're going to be close again, but we're just going to survive. 16th place, having quite a big drop off from 10th last year. I've gone for Fulham. I just don't think we're going to be as strong. Like I say, it sounds like Mitrovic wants to leave. I don't know if Marco Silva's that happy at Fulham. Like I say, replacing him is going to be Raul Jimenez, who is an alright player, but unfortunately he's not been the same since he had that injury, and he's not going to replace the goals that Mitrovic has got him. I think we've still got a good squad. Like I say, out wings we've got like Harry Wilson and Willian as well. So I think we've still got a decent... Yeah, he's getting on a bit. But I think we've still got a decent squad, but I just don't see him doing well as last year. A bit of second season syndrome, but not enough to take him down. So I've gone for Fulham in 16th. Okay, in 15th place, I've gone for Nottingham Forest. I think we're going to have a pretty similar season to last season. We've not done a lot of business because, like I say, last year we signed 20-odd players, pretty much signed a new squad. So we don't really need to do a lot this year because, like I say, we've had all last year to kind of like get the squad to gel and, learn how to play with each other. But I think we'll be all right this year. I don't think we'll do it special, but I think they'll be pretty safe, to be fair. So I've gone for Forest in 15th. Then in 14th, I've gone for Bournemouth. I really wanted to put them in the relegation zone after the sacked Tony Hill after he performed miracles, but unfortunately, I think we're going to have quite a good season. I think this new guy looks pretty good. Like I say, we're spending a fair bit of money, Bournemouth. You know, we've got the new owners in, and we're really having a good go at it. And they look like they could be a good team this year. I could be completely wrong on this. They could easily go down, but I just think we're going to have a good year.
So in 17th, I went for Luton Town. I think everybody has written them off. And if they can manage to get all the way from the National League into the Premier League in 10 years, who's saying they can't stay up in the Premier League? I think they have recruited as well as you can do with a club of that size. And I just think the sort of fairy tale story is not quite over for them yet. And I think they'll survive. Look at Sheffield United, who kind of did a similar thing. Yeah. They survived their first season, how many years ago now. And I think it'll be a similar situation for them. Yeah,
I really want to agree on that. And originally I did have them safe, but I just couldn't find it. I just couldn't see them surviving above a few more teams. But like I say, I do really wish they do. I just think the Prem, like with money and quality there, is just going to be a step too far. Well. Oh, I do as well. I think he'll really outdone by Watford, but I just don't see it in my opinion. Hopefully you're right. Like I say, because I'd love them to stay up, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yep. In 16th, I went for Everton, basically for the same reasons that Adam's already outlined. I just think we're a long way from things being okay at Everton. I think Dyche has got it in him to keep him up, but yeah, it's not going to be a good season for them. I don't think they're going to be happy. In 15th, I went for Nottingham Forest, which I believe is the same as you.
Ah, perfect.
Because I think they're really building something slowly now. I mean, obviously they made like 1 million signings last season. They've had a year for them to gel, and I think they're only going to get better as a consequence of that. In 14th, I went for Fulham. They are going to have a drop off. That not as bad as you predict, but bad enough to finish in the bottom half. Yeah. But yeah, I think the players that they're losing, they're not really replace them, and yeah, the league's just getting more and more competitive at the top.
Okay, we're going to finish off the bottom half now, so we're going from 13th place to 11th place. So in 13th place, I have gone for the highest placing team to come up, which is Burnley. I think we're going to have a decent year. Like I say, it's a completely different kettle of fish from the Championship to the Premier League. We've got over 100 points, and like I say, I think we lost 3 games of all last season. Vincent Kompany coming in. So I think they'll do well. Like I say, the momentum from last year is going to carry them through quite a bit. I think we've got some good quality. They're making some good signings as well, by the look at it. And yeah, I think they'll do absolutely fine. I think there's a lot worse teams in that league than Burnley, and I think they're going to be comfortably surviving. In 12th place, dropping down the table a bit, I've gone for Brentford. I still think they'll do all right, even without Ivan Toney. I still think they're going to get goals because they proved last season, even when he weren't in the team, they still did all right. I still, like I said, I don't think it's more Brentford getting worse. I think it's just the overall quality at the top getting stronger, and I think that is going to cause Brentford to drop a few places. But like I said, I think they'll do well. They are a very well-run club, and by no means, for them, 12th isn't a bad position at all. I just think, like I say, the league's got a bit stronger, and other teams are going to catch up to them a bit. And then finished off the bottom half in 11th place. I have gone for Crystal Palace for the simple reason it's Palace. They finish 11th. They do it every year. But no, I think they'll do all right. Like I say, Roy's come back in, knows that club inside out. I know they've lost. I know it's crazy, isn't it? I know they've lost at Har, but they've got a good squad. Like I say, like Eze and Elise, running wings around defenders. Well. And I was gonna say like Ayew, he can still score goals. And I just think we've got a good attacking team, and I think they'll be absolutely fine.
So in 13th, I went for Brentford. I think losing Ivan Toney will affect them somewhat. They'll survive comfortably still. That's still a massive achievement for a club of that size. In 12th, I went Burnley. There is a caveat on that though, because if somebody gets sacked in any of the above 11 places, Vincent Kompany's name will be first on that list. Yeah. And to be honest, it would not surprise me if he gets poached by someone else by the end of the season. Yeah. But I think they have recruited really well, and they've got a good manager and company, so hopefully they'll build on it and they'll stay in the Premier League for many years to come. And then 11th out for Crystal Palace, because I love Roy Hodgson, and that's where they finish every year. So who knows if it's going to change.
Right, next up we've got the top half teams finishing outside the European places, so from 10th to 8th. So in 10th place, I've gone for West Ham United. Now, I know they've gone up a bit from 14th last year, and they've lost the star man Declan Rice, but by the looks of it, like I say, these signs aren't confirmed yet, but they seem to be recruiting really well. Like I say, James Ward-Prowse is exactly the replacement they need for Declan Rice, in my opinion. That's like the perfect... Obviously, we want to keep Rice, but if there were anyone you'd want to replace him with, I think James Ward-Prowse is that exact person.
Yeah.
And Harry Maguire as well at the centre-back. I think it's a perfect move for him. I think Man U just doesn't suit him. Like I say, he's not got the pace. He needs to play in the back five, in my opinion. Whether West Ham will or not, I don't know. But like I say, he needs someone with a bit of pace who can like make them recovery runs, like when he does for England with like Kyle Walker, making recovery runs in behind him. So, like I said, I think they'll do well. I think winning the Europa Conference League, in Europa League. I know that's going to be pretty tricky with the amount of games they'll have to play, but I think they'll do all right. Like I say, I think they've got a good squad, and I think they'll still continue to do well. In 9th place, and dropping down a few places, unfortunately, although I really don't want them to, I've gone for Brighton. I just think, during Europe this year, they're going to have a lot more games, and they've lost a few players. Like I say, McAllister's gone, Caicedo's going to be out the door, and there's still a lot of players that could be poached as well. Obviously, Sanchez has gone to Chelsea. And I just think, like I say, the squad is getting picked apart a bit, but I still think they'll be strong. Like I say, they seem to be one of them teams, a bit like Brentford. They seem to recruit really well, and for really good price, and they'll sell them off and make a fortune. They're such a well-run club as well. And like I said, I think Europe's going to do fantastic for them, but unfortunately, I do think it might cost them a few places in the league. And the final team to miss out on Europe in 8th place, Spurs fans really aren't going to like this, but I've gone Tottenham to stay level in 8th, just like last season. And to be honest, this is with my assumption that Kane's going to go as well. I think even if he stays, I think we're going to struggle, but like I say, I've got a good squad. We've got Maddison in, Song obviously, and I think Richarlison is not the best, but I think he can.
I like him.
He can add a bit to, like I say, if you're struggling and you bring him on, he can really add a bit to that team. I think overall we've got a decent squad. Not good enough for Europe in my opinion, but just missing out on Europe.
Okay, so I went for Tottenham in 10th place.
Okay.
Harry Kane not being there, what have they actually got to offer? Son is getting older. I think he's past his prime. I think Maddison will be a good acquisition, but you can't get assists if there's no one to score them.
True.
They don't seem to want to play Richarlison consistently. I mean, think about where Everton would be if he was still there. They'd be a lot higher up the table. Definitely. There's no dispute in that, in my opinion. And I just think they're not ready yet. I think their manager has got a big task on his hands, and I wonder whether he'll actually last the season. Yeah, just before we move on to the next team, I forgot to mention about that manager. Obviously, we've got former Celtic manager, whose name I'm not going to try and pronounce. Ange. It's going to be really interesting to see how he does, because like I say, he's done it in Scotland, he's done it in Australia. But he's going to be able to do it in the Premier League. I just feel like Scotland is not comparable to the Premier League. I look at Steven Gerrard. Not, it didn't work for him, did it? And I don't think it'll work. Of course not. It's going to be interesting though to see how he does, because like I say, he's a highly rated manager, so it's going to be interesting to see. Okay, so in 9th place I went for West Ham. because I think they're recruiting well. Winning the Conference League is going to give them all a bit of a boost. I think David Moyes will get the best out of players like Maguire.
Yeah.
I think they'll have a good solid season. They won't get into Europe again, but I think that's still a really good finish for them. You can't really complain too much. And then in 8th, controversially, I went for Chelsea. Because I think it's going to take time to fix what is wrong with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Pochettino's a great manager, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and it took him a few seasons with Tottenham, right, to get to a level where they were challenging for any silverware and those kinds of things. And I think we'll have the same thing here. They've signed so many new players and gotten rid of so many that it's almost an entirely new team, and it's going to take a long time for that to settle. And I think their fans are so sick and tired of being underperforming that's not going to help things. It's only going to demoralise players, and they're going to miss out on Europe. But all is not lost. Just give it a few more seasons and they'll be back where they usually are.
Okay, we're going to move on to the teams finishing in the Europa League and the Europa Conference League now. So 7th, 6th and 5th. So in 7th place, last minute change, I've gone for Aston Villa. I think we're going to stay exactly where we did last season. And wow, what a turnaround it was at Villa last year. Obviously, Gerrard going out earlier in the season and Emery coming in and doing a superb job. And they've recruited really well. Like I say, Tielemans coming in. Giambi coming in as well. And we've just got such a strong squad added on to what we've already got. And you even forget we've got players like Philip Coutinho and players like that. It's
good young players coming through like Jacob Ramsey as well.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, it's such a good squad. And under Emery, like I say, I think he's really getting best out of them players, and I think that's going to continue into this season. And also a prediction from me. We all know Emery is the king of the Europa League and Conference League. I think he's going to win the Conference League with Aston Villa. That is just my rogue prediction. So let's see if it comes true. In 6th place, I've gone for Chelsea. Really hard team to predict, Chelsea. I was going to originally put them lower, but I just think we have got a lot of quality in, like we say. I think it is going to be really hard. Like I say, we've got Pochettino in and a lot of new players. Like I say, we had a lot out last season, a lot in this season. So it's going to take a lot of time for him to gel and adapt, and it is really going to be a real rebuilding process from Abramovich leaving. And I said last year, at the end of my predictions, is it going to be the same with Abramovich gone? Like under Todd Bowley, is it, are they going to go back to the Chelsea that they were? I think if they are, it's going to take not just this season, but quite a few seasons. But I think we're going to be in a step in the right direction here. Like I said, I've got a quality manager. They're getting some really good players in. Now it's just about building kind of like a system and, getting everyone playing as a team and not as individuals. And in 5th place, and just missing out on the Champions League spots. They got a Champions League spot last year, but I think they're just going to miss out this year. I've gone for Newcastle United. And this is by no means Newcastle getting weaker. I think we probably are even going to get stronger. But I just think all the teams around them have got stronger as well. And a lot of the teams that weren't probably firing last year are going to be firing even more this year. And I think we're just going to miss out on that top 4. Like I say, Eddie Howe is, I think, all the work he's even done with Bournemouth and Newcastle. I still think he's an underrated manager. I think the togetherness that squad's got, and just how well they played together, how, so it's turned a lot of average players very good. Just look at Joe Linton, for example. And, I just think we're going to continue to have a really good season. I just think, like I say, the top 4 are going to be a bit stronger.
In 7th place, I went for Brighton. Because although they have lost some key players, I think that they've got such a good ability to recruit and ability to, make up for that they'll still finish quite high. I just think they've got a right good momentum behind them at the minute, and I don't think that's going to change yet.
Yeah, just before we move on from that, I think the next player from Brighton is probably going to be Ferguson, like you say. We both really rate him really highly.
I wonder if whether he'll last out the transfer window, to be honest. And then in 6th, I went for Aston Villa for the same reasons that you mentioned. I think Emery's got a real good thing going there, and they've only built on the squad from last year, and they're only going to get stronger, I think. And in 5th place, I went for Liverpool. I just don't think they're ready for the top 4. I think the spine of that club is getting older. Your Salahs and your Van Dijks are getting older and less on it. And I just think, despite them signing people like McAllister, they're still not going to make the top 4.
Okay, moving on to the top 4 now. So we're going to do 4th and 3rd next. So in 4th place, I've gone for Liverpool. I think the likes of Henderson and Milner, even though we're probably fringe players at the minute, I think that just their influence on the team, like I say, the leaders, and they both lead by example. I think that's going to be a huge miss for Liverpool. But I think players such as Diaz and Jota, who were injured for most of last season, coming back, I think they're like new signings in themselves. I think up front, I think they're going to score so many goals. I think the weakness and the reason they won't be higher is the defence. But I think up front, I think a front three of Diaz, Jota and Nunes is just going to be an unbelievable strike force. I think they'll probably be one of the high, if not the highest scoring team in the division this year. I think we're going to get loads of goals. Like I say, we've strengthened midfield a bit as well. Lights McAllister coming in as well, and I think we've got rid of a bit of Deadwood as well. I just don't think the defence is good enough. I still think Van Dijk's a quality player, but I don't think it's been the same since that injury in the Merseyside derby. But like I said, we've got a quality keeper in Alisson, but I think defence is where we're going to get a bit caught out. I think we're better than last year, and we'll get back into Europe. Mainly through the striking options. So I've gone 4th place for Liverpool. And then in 3rd place, very difficult to predict 2nd and 3rd, not so much for top. But in 3rd place, dropping down from 2nd, I have gone with Arsenal. It's so, like I say, 3rd and 2nd were so hard to predict. I think, like I say, I think they are going to be stronger, but I think teams around them are going to get stronger as well. And I think we're just going to get pipped to 3rd. I think Declan Rice is a superb signing. Him and Odegaard in midfield is going to be superb. And then just going forward, like I say, it's Kai Havertz coming in, added to already like Gabriel Jesus when he's, like I say, got to keep him fit. That's one of the only problems. And then, like I say, like Martinelli, big fan of him. And even players, like I say, like Kieran Tierney, who we're not seeing a lot. And like I say, we've got such a good young, talented squad. I'm not even mentioning Saka and Smith Rowe in that as well. Just, like I say, what they're building. I said a few years ago, even when we were missing out on like Champions League and even Europa League, I said, out of all the big clubs, I think they're the ones for the future who are building something really big. And I think that's going to be the case. I think we still need a few years building. I think this year, like I say, another building year. I think next year it's going to be extremely close up at the top. And then you're going to add a few other teams in there, like Man U are building, Chelsea are trying to rebuild, Liverpool are getting a bit stronger again. And I think other teams, are going to start to really make that top 4 or 5 interesting. So I think Arsenal are going to slip a place to 3rd, but it's going to be very tight.
Okay, so 4th place went for Newcastle. I think they've only gotten stronger since last season. I think Isak is going to be really big for them. I think, to be honest, this is only the beginning for them, and I think they're doing it the right way. They're not spending an absolute fortune, are they? They're going for players that are going to really make a difference, not just signing everybody they can. Yeah. And I think they'll finish in Europe again. I think however long Eddie Howe's there, they'll be competing for those Champions League spots, in my opinion. And then in 3rd place, I went for Man United, because I think although they've recruited well and they're really building something, it just still feels like there's something missing. And I think it's a striker. But I know they've signed that. Is it Højlund?
Yeah.
He's injured though, so he's not going to play for the first few weeks. And I think, they must be kicking themselves that they've not gotten Harry Kane, because that would have probably been the thing that pushed them into 2nd place for me. Yeah. But I think they're just missing that out and out 25 goal a season striker that the teams above them, they're going to have more goals, I think. Okay,
next up we're going to go for 2nd place, because I think we've both got the same at the top, if you wouldn't have guessed that already. But I'll leave you to ponder who that's going to be. But in 2nd place, I've gone for Man United. I think, like I say, I think we're a team that's gradually just creeping up that bit every season. Although I thought that a few times, like when we were creeping up under Solskjaer, and then they had a massive fall off. I've seemed to have done that quite a few times since Fergie left. But I like I'm a big fan of Ten Hag. I think he's closest since Fergie's left to kind of a similar vibe of kind of like what Man U were about. Like Man U's identity under Fergie. I think he's the closest thing to replicating that. And I think, like I say, we're building a really good squad. We've got a bit of a mixture of youth and experience. Like I say, I think Casemiro in midfield, if he can stay on the pitch and not get sent off, I think he's a really big player for United. I think we're adding a few things as well. Like I say, they won the League Cup last year, which first bit of silverware in many years under United. So I think that's going to, give them a bit of a taste for a trophy, and they're going to build on that. Like I say, Rashford signed a new 5-year deal. I think a lot of other positive things going around at the club. A new keeper in Onana, who, like I say, I've liked De Gea for a number of years, but I think his time. I think his time had come as Man U's number 1. And like I say, we don't want Henderson in there for some reason. So Onana, like I say, is going to be give the defence a bit of confidence. Like I say, I think Maguire leaving the club is going to be a good thing because, like I say, unfortunately, I think he gets a lot of stick at United, and like I say, that negativity can be kind of gone now, and yeah, I'm gonna say it kind of ripples through the team, and yeah, I think, like I say, I think Ronaldo gone last year, I think Maguire gone, I think, like I say, last year was kind of a case of getting rid of all the dead wood. I think building a good young team, we've got some good exciting players in that team who are just going to get stronger this year, and I think we're going to get second place.
Okay, I went for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because I think the signings that they've made will make a massive difference. They've already got a squad that came so close to the title last year, and the additions they've made, Declan Rice and Kai Havertz in particular, are just going to make them even better.
Yeah.
Like, I just think Arteta is, you know, he's come so close now, and I think he's got a bit of unfinished business, and I think they'll probably pick up one of the FA Cup or the League Cup, at least. And I think they will give City a run for the money again, hopefully.
And finally, moving on to our champions, we've both gone the same. Manchester City, of course.
Does it? You don't feel like we need to high five?
I was going to say it's
like I could be high fiving every person that walked down the street.
And I feel like it's pretty pointless doing a description on it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's Man City.
But just Man City, they're going to win the fourth in a row, in my opinion. They've got the treble last year. I don't think we're going to get the treble this year, but I think they're going to be dominant in the league.
They'll do well in the Champions League again as well.
Yeah, they'll do well. I don't think they'll get the treble. I think, like I say, for a few FA Cup and League Cup, we might rest a few players, but they've got the squad to do that. They've got such a big squad.
Yeah, even if they rest players, they've still got a better squad than anybody else.
Yeah, the squad is just crazy. Like I say, if you can keep Haaland fit, you're just going to score goals for fun. De Bruyne, like I say, he's getting on a bit, but like I say, a fit De Bruyne is unplayable on his day. Still, probably, I've seen a lot of football, and like I always say, Kevin De Bruyne is the best player I've seen live by a long way, and Haaland playing in that team as well. But yeah, they're just such a good team. And like I say, the defence is so solid. Look at that back four. You know, they're not going to concede many goals this year. I just think they're just going to be unstoppable. I think we've won the treble. I think that shadow over the head of not winning the Champions League has been lifted. So I just think they're going to go on. I think they're going to dominate the Premier League, to be fair. Yeah, so I think they're going to dominate the Premier League, to be fair. And yeah, I just feels pointless even describing it because I just think we're going to be that good, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You got else to add?
No, not really.
No. City's going to win it. They're going to win 4 in a row. They're going to be unstoppable. And
Haaland's going to get like 40 goals.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's going to be a battle for second place. Yeah. Anyway, that is the end of our predictions. Our predictions are going to be just up right here in front of our faces, so there you can see our 1 to 20 tables. Who do you think's got the closest? Let us know your 1 to 20s in the comments. If you want to play along at the end of the season with the point scoring, you're more than welcome to. Well, like I say, if you've got any opinions, if we've rated your team somewhere you don't like, don't take it too seriously. It's a bit of fun at the end of the day. And if you're that bothered, let us know your 1 to 20 and give us a good reason why. And yeah, let's have some fun with these predictions. So we're going to leave it here anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Very nearly at 900 subs now. Then we are on the road to 1,000. So that's all predictions done now. So next up will be Tuesday night. If this video, it should be up before then. We have Scottish Rovers versus Mansfield Town. So in the meantime, take care. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.